Here we have 97 Toyota Tacoma rear-wheel drive. I got her jacked up by the differential, block of wood underneath it, and then put the jack stands right there. Did both sides, so it makes it just a little bit less time to jack back down and go back to the other side. Just makes it a little bit easier. We're doing rear brake drums and replacing hardware. So let's go ahead and get started right now. Your first challenge for doing drums is getting the actual drum off, which is this part here. This part will come off. So you see it sits in there. The shoes push up against it, so as you push the brakes, they push up like this. And that's how it's braking. So they're pressed in there, so it keeps that thing pretty much on there. There's different ways to get it off. You can use hammer and a block of wood. You can use a rubber mallet. And come around to this side. You'll see on the back this port hole right here. Some on the bottom, some up top. You put a screwdriver in there, and on the inside there's going to be just little gears, and it's going to be for your shoes, and it's the adjuster. And so you're going to go ahead, I'll let you know which way we're going to be turning it to get the shoes to release. And when we do that, the shoes should pull back in and give it less pressure on that drum, so we're able to remove the drum without having to beat it off of here. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that and that the drum is not stuck on here. So right here, see if we can get a good angle on here. So we have our service hole right there. If you look on the inside, I don't know if you guys are able to see it at all, but there is a bracket down inside of there. So down inside there, I don't know if you're able to see if it's the zoom, but there's that gear that's right there at the bottom. That's going to be the one you turn. So let's go ahead. We're going to start turning that with our flathead and get this part removed. So here on the back end right here, a little hard to see it in there, but back there, when we hit that bracket and we start to move it down, you're going to have to lift up the part that holds the bracket teeth downwards, so it only compresses. And then once you get that lifted up with one screwdriver, you can use the second screwdriver to move the spindle. And you're going to move it upwards to get it off. And then once you move that upwards for a few minutes and get it to release, then you're going to use a block of wood and a hammer and a rubber mallet or something to get this off, and it should all pop right off. If prying on it, hitting it and spraying it and everything doesn't work, next best option, they give you these little holes right here to help get it off. So we're going to go ahead and do it slowly on each side until we can get it removed. And just like that, it's removed. So with this off, we're going to go ahead and take our tools and get this stuff removed like that. And always take a picture of what you're doing beforehand so you know how everything goes back together, otherwise you're going to get lost. Let's go ahead and start getting the first things removed and these shoes off, and then we'll get the springs off, and then from there we'll get the whole new kit put on with the new shoes. So let's go ahead and get this all pulled off real quick, and just remember to keep track of what goes where. Take pictures of things, videos if you need to. That way when you start putting everything back together, it's not a crazy hassle of trying to figure it out. So we've got some rain this morning, so we're going to finish up today. We've got my pads right here. We're going to start with this pad. It's going to be for the driver's side. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to get our parking brake lever attached. We're going to get our adjuster arm attached, get the springs put onto here, and it's going to face inward towards the vehicle. So everything's just going to get put on. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to lube up everything. I'm going to get some stuff and some, for me it's going to be the high temperature grease I'm using. You can use brake grease, whatever it is. But basically we're going to avoid getting it onto the surface of the pad. I'm going to put some on here. I'm going to lube up around where the metal contact points are. I'm going to put them onto here, where the meets onto the car itself. Over here you'll see where I have already added some grease and everything. And so basically we're just going to get everything lubed up. We're going to get these parts attached, and we're just going to go ahead and film everything as much as we can and get started. It's a little bit too much grease, but here you do. Basically what we're going to do next is this goes onto here like so. This part faces here. We're going to put our C-clip in, which goes in here. And this is all going to need to use your hands, so pliers and everything. So I'm going to get this put into here. Once that goes on, we're going to pinch it closed. Alright, with that pinch closed, next what we're going to do, so I've already got this spring onto here. Spring is going to go through the front, out the bottom, and then that's going to be face this way like this. So we're going to have this lip facing toward out with the pin. This side with it, it's going to face down. It's going to go over like that. And then we're going to take our piece here. This one goes like such. Again, if I need two hands, I might need to put down the phone. But alright, now with that pin on, I'm going to flip it over. How we had it before. Now this will connect to this one here. So I'm going to grab some needle nose pliers and we're going to pull this over, get it through that second hole, because this top hole, that's the hole we're going to use for the surface of the where the pad goes, where it goes down with the pin and everything with the spring, which we'll be doing next. So here next we have is this part. Basically this long end goes to the part that hangs onto here, which is this piece here. So we just connect it like that, and we'll be doing this next because here we're going to start putting on our brake shoes. So let's get the brake shoes onto here and we'll get that next part started, and then we'll finish up our little brake job. This next part though, we're going to put the pin through the back of here. It goes through the top, and then next to it is going to be this piece here, which is going to go flat with the part that sticks out sitting against it, spring over it, and then this part in like that. So let's go ahead and get this on. Just like that. I don't know how well that filmed, but goes in like such. Perfect fit. So now let's go ahead and grab our other shoe that we just put together, and we'll do the same thing. Just on like that, same way we did it with the last one. You're gonna turn it until the pin is locked into its little seat. And now with that, we're going to hit our next spots, which is putting on our adjuster arm. One thing to note too, anything that's metal on metal, anything with the brakes or anywhere, we're going to lubricate. So I'm gonna lubricate the bolt part of this, and then we're gonna clean this off and lubricate in here, and just make sure everything is nice and good on contact, so there's no squeaking, no squealing or anything like that. All right, real quick, took this brake back off because it's easier to get this on. This part, this lip, goes up into there, and this will go over both these brake and this parking lever arm. So this hook goes on the opposite side of this, and it's going to be way easier to set this off the car. So let's go ahead and get these parts slid into place, and then we'll get it reattached. Goes on like so. Now with this on, let's get this replaced the way we had it with the pin, and we'll start pulling it all together. So it's all set up. We're going to pull this over to here, and then we got another little spring that we're going to connect from here to here, and then make sure that this goes behind the plate. And now let's go ahead, pull this over, and get this set up. It's going to take a little strength to do, but you can get it in there. This is going to be adjusting. Everything should be all set. So let's go ahead and get this last piece put on. And now with that bottom spring on, and these springs are fresh, so it takes some fucking effort to get these on. But lastly, all we got to do is we just got to get this parking brake wire mechanism through arm right here. Probably would have been easier to do before we attached everything, but can you do? Let's go ahead and see how well we can get this put on right here. And then when you're placing the drum on, the drum should have some resistance to it as it's pushed on for the brake to sit right. So you're going to adjust the lever so when you slide the drum on, it has a little bit of resistance, and then we're obviously going to pump our brakes when we put them all on. And that's how we do our brake shoes. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and follow for more content.